Righty, almost. All right, dude. Listen, yo, we're live. EW, what's up, E? How you doing? Yeah, from hiding from
Good.
your excursion, trying to rope
Yeah.
in Juan Soto.
Happy happy Saturday, everybody watching live on the platform. If you're watching on TikTok, it's the real Edubs. That's my handle. The one and only, right, Murf? Edubs.
Absolutely, the real E-Dubs. There's only one of you, dude. Absolutely, only one of you.
How you been, pal?
I've been pretty good, man. Actually, I'm not going to go into any full detail, but I did something out of my box this week, and I was saying last night that I think everybody out there should once in their life or whenever they need to just do something out of your box. It feels good, man, to see you can just take on something new and just see what happens. So yeah, I did that this week, dude. And I kind of feel pretty good about it. So yeah, did something out of my box this week. I'll discuss it with you off the podcast. So
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's good,
I,
good,
I
good
I
stuff.
did I did nothing outside my box this week. I just had a normal week, but I did go up to Kingston yesterday morning to a movie
Okay,
theater, and I don't know if
right.
anybody's known this theater. It's called what is it called? NCG, I believe it is. Yeah,
Okay.
NCG in Kingston. They're a franchise around the country, and I saw the movie Conclave. Which is
Okay.
pretty good. I don't want to get into the details, but it's a really interesting movie. How when a pope dies, the whole election process, and it was a
Oh, yeah.
thriller. Good, but I want to talk about the theater. The theater has unlimited drinks, unlimited popcorn. Of course, you have to pay a price for it, and a reclining seat. So the reclining seat cost me $12.25. It was the matinee. I could get the senior discount because I am 55, but it didn't
Okay.
apply to the matinee. But really
Okay.
cool. You get you put your feet up. There's a seat warmer. Really cool theater to check out. It's in some mall. It's kind of like the Galleria, where like the Galleria, all the malls are shot now, Rich,
Yeah,
after
no, I hear you.
COVID.
I hear you.
Who goes to the mall anymore? Who goes to the mall?
No, not too many people. I was there last week and there was hardly anybody there. But you know what I think? What you said about the movies is pretty interesting. And, I've been seeing these movie theaters popping up all over the place. And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to combat with people just staying home and watching movies on their comfortable couches, on their big screens. So you really got to kind of think like, I guess like I just said, I think at one point, one of these theaters started out of the box and says, why don't we just bring the comforts of home and the comforts of a bar or a restaurant right to the movie theater? So maybe people will start coming out to the movies more so they can recline back, eat a burger, drink a beer, or whatever they want to do. I think that's where that kind of comes from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. I know we went through COVID and stuff, and people like to stay home. So
Right.
and the movie theater, the movies lost a lot of money in the process. I mean, they weren't making any new movies for a while and stuff. But yeah,
Right.
I totally agree. They want people back in theaters, and these type of perks, like all you can eat popcorn, all you can. But it's kind of hard with these perks because you don't want to leave the theater in a thriller, nonetheless. So I got myself the big large popcorn. I got myself the big soda, and then I didn't get the refill on the popcorn. No reason to, but I did refill my soda for the drive home from Kingston. But
You know what I
you
like
know,
about going to the you know what I like about going to the movies about the popcorn? When I get a thing of popcorn, and my kids do the same thing, get some chocolate, get like a Hershey bar or something,
oh,
kind of
oh
like
my
mix it up a
God!
little bit.
You know what's
Oh,
the
there's
best? M and
nothing
M's
like
with
that.
popcorn. It's that sweet and salty thing, right?
Yes, absolutely. M&Ms. Oh my God, that is delicious, dude. Yeah, that's the best. That's the best. I think movie snack.
And butter too, right? Rich, you get the butter in there too.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, all the time. Absolutely. But if you're
Now,
gonna go out, you can't go to the movies and be like, say, like, oh, I'm on a diet. I'm just gonna have like, dry popcorn. I'm not gonna have any snacks. If you're gonna go to if you're gonna go to a game, like a professional sporting event, and the movies, you got to know that you're gonna eat like crap.
yeah, I'm not going to eat carrot sticks and celery at the Giants game tomorrow, Rich, when I see my Buccaneers come to town. But I just want to get back to we had the snow down here yesterday, but in
Mhm.
Kingston, not 1 ounce, not one trace of snow. It's amazing, nothing.
That's
But the
weird.
snow is a pain in the ass. It's bittersweet in a way, Rich, because we haven't had any precipitation since like September 29th. It rained on Wednesday, and then all of a sudden changed to snow for yesterday or Friday, whatever. And
Right.
it was a pain in the ass to shovel. I mean, I had to get out. I had to get to Poughkeepsie. I had to get a blood test. So,
Right.
I kind of like thought, oh, I can get rid of this snow, but it was pretty heavy and I said, why even bother? It looks like it's all
Yeah, of
melted
course.
outside already. So,
Yeah, that was good. The other night, the football game was crazy, right? That they had that slow mo video that I saw the other day of Jameson Winston throwing a pass and kind of like dodging the tackles and stuff, and they had it in slow mo with all the snow in the background. It's like technology is great with these cameras now, but what a game the other night, right? The
did you hear
freaking
James
snow was
Winston
like,
talk though? Did you hear him talk? I mean,
no, I
I
didn't.
went on. Oh my God, you got to see his speeches before and after the game. I said James Winston for president. The guy is so funny to listen to. He's hilarious, and he was on my
You
team, of
guys had him.
course.
Yeah.
couple of years, and then he lost his job to some guy named Tom Brady. But
Well,
some guy. But yeah, no, he's a really interesting guy to listen to. I really recommend everybody go out
yeah.
there and listen. Watch, it's probably on YouTube or something. You can hear his pregame and postgame speeches. Pretty
I'll check
interesting
it out.
guy.
Yeah, of
And the
course.
Steelers. Yeah, and Mike Tomlin, they can't win on Thursday nights on the road for some reason. It's amazing. And,
What is
and
it about the Steelers? The Steelers were 8-2. Now they're 8-3, but they're always like, I mean, listen, they killed the Jets, but they always look like a team that they're fighting for their life, but they always come out with a good record and they always make the playoffs, but they always seem like they're fighting for their life.
yeah, and even they were fighting for their life on Thursday. I mean, snow is okay. Players can play in snow, and but wind is different. But actually, rain and snow actually, they make a football game better because of turnovers and and high
Right.
scoring games. But it was an entertaining game to watch. But yeah, I know the Steelers. I thought they'd have a cakewalk, but there's something about the Steelers team. They don't win. They win ugly, Rich. They don't win. They don't put
That's what I
their
mean. It's like an uphill battle. It always looks like they're like, they're in a war for every win, even for every loss too. It's like they rarely get blown out. You know what I mean? They're always, even if they lose, I mean, look, what was it score the other night? 24-10 or something like that? Or yeah, 24-10. I mean,
Yeah, and there's something about the
that's
Steelers
horrible.
organization, Rich. They don't fire coaches. The
No,
coaches,
oh,
I
no.
mean, that's their MO, mate, to hold on to these guys forever. Unlike the Jets,
Yeah.
of course. We'll get to the Jets later and stuff. That
Oh,
debacle. But the Steelers, I mean, in our lifetime, Rich, what, three head coaches, maybe? Right?
yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, since, because they're,
Noel,
they're winners, because
Chuck
they're
Noel,
winners.
Cowher, and Tomlin. I think just three head coaches in the past,
They
what,
have winning
55 years or
tradition.
so.
That's why they have tradition. Like they still don't know what it's like that's why I keep talking about when we're talking about football and the Jets and the Giants, right? It's like all the Giant fans are all up in arms now. They're all pissed off. But like I've been saying, it's like Giant fans, don't worry. Don't worry. You are the Giants. You're going to be back. You have history. You have relevance in the NFL. It's like I'm a Jet fan. We have zero relevance. Like we could just disappear tomorrow and I would be okay with it. So, Giant fans are going through some shit right now, which is all right because you know what? They're going to be fine. The Jets, however, I don't think they're ever going to be fine. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, we'll get into that in a second. But
Of
uh,
course.
but this
Yep.
week, Rich, Thanksgiving. So you ready for Thanksgiving or what? What's going on this year for
Oh
Thanksgiving?
yeah, I'm ready for Thanksgiving. We got my sister-in-law and my nephew coming up, and I don't know if our friend is going to be over, but yeah, we're gonna have a quiet Thanksgiving. My wife and my son Jack. You guys all know my son Jack is in culinary school up at BOCES, and he just got the early admission to CIA, so he'll be going to the Culinary Institute of America next year as an early admission, and kid's kicking ass, man. So you know what though, I got him and my wife in the kitchen cooking for Thanksgiving. I could guarantee you we're gonna have whatever we're eating is gonna be absolutely delicious because he's in there right. You know what he's doing right now?
What's that?
Saturday morning, right? 11
Yep.
o'clock. He's got to work a
Hmm.
double at Patsy's Roadhouse. Patsy's Roadhouse, a great restaurant in our
Hmm.
area. He works there. And they put him in the kitchen, dude.
Hmm. Nice.
And he's running. But right now he's in the kitchen baking a cake for my niece Megan's daughter. It's her first birthday tomorrow. I'm going down to my
Ah,
mother's house. So he's right there baking a
wow.
cake. This is
Very
what he
nice.
does. This is his thing. Anytime a family member has a birthday or something, Jack's the cake guy. He's been doing it for like a year now, and he likes decorating it. It's absolutely amazing what this kid does. Like, I'm gonna, have him maybe show me a couple things one day and get this on TikTok or our podcast. But yeah, that's what we're doing for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna watch some shitty football games and eat some amazing food and just chill out, man.
Yeah, us too. We're gonna go
How
to my
you?
mother-in-law's house like we usually
Okay.
do, but a bigger crowd this year.
Okay.
A couple of smaller crowds after COVID, and plus, it's hard to cook for an army nowadays. But it should be
Yes.
nice. A lot of people getting together for the first time in a while.
Okay.
Last year we did prime rib. My mom came up, but we're not doing prime rib this year. With everyone coming, I mean, a prime rib dinner would have cost at least over $1,000 with the crowd that's
Yeah.
coming. But the turkey, the gravy, and stuff like that, the cranberry, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it should be nice, kick back. I mean, the Cowboys Giants game is going to be a debacle. I mean, at 4 o'clock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're gonna get the football, and you couldn't ask for a worse game for listen, you know what though? Unless I don't know. I know I'm saying again, thinking out of our box, thinking out of my box. What if this kid Tommy DeVito does come in there and just starts throwing the ball like crazy to this neighbor's kid, and he throws for like 400 yards, neighbors has like 4 touchdowns, and they just have like a pitch and catch match because all that kid needs is literally somebody just to throw him the football. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, well, we'll see. But I,
Dallas is a mess. Dallas is a
have
mess.
a Thanksgiving surprise for everybody. The Adam
All right.
Sandler song. came out, what, about 30, 40 years ago. Remember that song, Richie Adam Sandler
30 years ago.
song?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I'm not gonna sing a lyric and stuff, but it wouldn't be a lyric without some props here. So in we have here, so I got the turkey, right?
There you
So we
go. You
got
got him.
turkey with gravy and cranberry. Can't believe the Mets traded Darryl Strawberry, right? So I have the 2024 version now, Rich.
Wow.
Turkey with gravy and potato. The Yankees just signed Juan Soto. How's that? Huh?
Okay. All right. That sounds good. If it was true, that would be even better. But hey,
Yeah, so I got my turkey hat on. I hope you guys enjoyed that and stuff. That was my prop for today. Taking this off, retiring it for next year. But yeah, so that's what's up. Thanksgiving this week,
all right.
short week,
All right.
and then
Love it.
Black Friday, of course.
Yeah.
Where everyone's
Black
killing
Friday is not Black
themselves.
Friday anymore, though, right? Black Friday deals are happening right this instant. If anything, people look for that, the Amazon, whatever, Amazon Monday or whatever, Cyber Monday or whatever, because like you said, nobody goes out anymore. Nobody goes to the mall anymore. Nobody goes to, to stores anymore because listen, I was on stuff at Kohl's just now, though. If you do go to these stores right now, there's awesome deals, man. I had to go get some clothes for something and everything's like 40, 50% off. I guess they're trying to get people back into the shopping spirit. I mean, yeah, listen, the other day I did go up by, what Chili's is. They have that, what's that store up there? They have a Christmas shop up there now. I went up there, I had to get something for my wife at one of the beauty supply stores. And there was a line right down the block. It was the first day it was going to open and Santa Claus is going to be there. I already started putting lights up in my house and I'm going to finish it today because I'm going to have my lights up, then when, was it Thanksgiving night? We're going to turn the lights on. So I'm going to put a ton of lights on my house, going to try to really get into the Christmas spirit because it's been a little crazy year. Like, everybody's hating on each other and stuff. Christmas time, let's have a little holly jolly Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. The holiday season's definitely upon us, and it just flies right by. But we'll blink an eye, Rich, and it'll be January 1st, right? Amazingly,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
This time of
absolutely.
year just flies right by and stuff, and then January 1st brings all the good stuff, and Super
Yep.
Bowl, and then back to baseball. But the one thing I want to talk about the baseball free agency, Rich, and
Of course. Absolutely.
the whole Juan Soto thing. As we get into sports now, I know how if anyone joining us, we like to do a little minutia in the beginning, go back and forth,
Yeah.
and then then we get into the nitty gritty and make it entertaining for everybody. But yeah, the free agency stuff. So
Yes.
in the other leagues, Rich, NBA, NFL, NHL, even they have like free agent frenzy where free agency starts, and within like the first week, all the players are signed up for next year. We know that. In
Right.
baseball, it just lingers and stuff, and we saw it last year. And it's all these Scott Boras clients. They hold things up. Now you have a lot of free agents out there. The season already ended about a month ago, Rich. Well, the World Series started like a month ago today, let's say. So we're talking a month. You would think like the free agency period starts 24 hours after, 48 hours after the World Series last pitch is thrown, and it's been
Right.
pretty dry. There's been nothing. A couple of like Travis Darno. He's not a star, but he went to the Angels. But
Right.
but the big names, and it's all being held up by the Juan Soto thing right now. So
Yes.
Juan Soto, he meets with like 6 or 7 teams. Even the Royals got involved. I put it on Facebook. The Royals got involved. You can look
Yep.
up Murf and Edubbs on Facebook. You can see our funny stuff we put out there, everyone. But so Juan Soto meets with
Our
the Y.
Facebook
The
page.
Royals can't afford him. So apparently Juan Soto met with all these teams, and no money was spoken about. The Mets did not make an offer. It was a rumor. The Yankees did
Right.
not make an offer. No teams made offers on Juan Soto, basically. So,
Well, I think the Mets kind of did make an offer, sort of, kind of. If you think about it, I'll tell you why I say that.
okay, well then the Yankees made an offer too because Steinbrenner said he could spend any amount of money. So yeah,
Right.
and all the rumors. Lindor was not with the Mets out there. Aaron Judge was not with the Yankees out there when they met with Soto and stuff. So all these teams meeting with Soto. Now what happens? So all the teams start giving their offers now, and we head into like December. Is Juan Soto
Right.
going to be signed before Christmas?
Well, from what I heard the other day, you listen to all the sports talk shows that they're saying that he's going to sign before the winter meetings start in what is it, December 6th? I think the winter
So that's
meetings
like
are
next
starting.
week, 2 weeks
They're
after
saying that
Thanksgiving.
he's going to sign somewhere because they're saying you get these from sources like I think it was Jeff Passan or somebody else said that, and saying that he's not going to hold people up from signing contracts. He wants to get something done. I mean, in all honesty, when I said to you before that, the Mets are offering him a contract, yeah, Cohen went out there that's true. Cohen went out there to talk to him, and I don't know. Like I said, those are all rumors. But bottom line is, he basically said like whatever Soto gets an offer, he's going to go 50 million plus above the highest offer is going to be. That's basically what he said the other day. And I know for a fact that he pulled out all the stops, when he went out there to talk to him. And bottom line is, we're talking about a human being that's going to get like 650 to 700 million dollars, and it's not what I'm saying is like, how we feel. You feel the same way about the money. It's like, they have the money to spend. Why not put it into their teams? And Cohen and the Steinbrenners are definitely look like they are heading in the right direction to doing that. But I just think that Juan Soto right now, listen, Juan Soto's not as good as Godzilla over there in LA. Like, the guy's got $700 million. But when does kind of it come to a point where the next player, maybe, I don't know who it is coming up, let's just say Acuna becomes a superstar in like 5 years, he's looking for a deal. When does that $1 billion player come into play? Like, and then all of a sudden Otani's like, I'm at the end of my deal. It's like, I want to redo my contract, make 1.5 billion. It's like, you keep throwing money at these players, and it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, because you have it. But Juan Soto is going to be probably in 2 or 3 years, whatever team he signs with, he's probably going to be a DH, which, I mean, listen, he could DH in Queens for the next 15 years. I'm fine with that. And I'm sure you're
Right.
fine with that over there.
Right.
But you have more. But the thing is with you guys, the Yankees, this is where I think that Soto fits in better as a Met than a Yankee. And, not just saying because I think he's going to come, but I think that the Mets have a little bit more leeway with setting somebody as a legit DH every single day. Starling Marte is getting older. Starling Marte may not want to play every day. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is he going to stay, going to go? I don't know what he's going to do. But if you tell Soto that he only has to play half the season in right field and he could DH, 158 games a year or 140 games a year, I think that's an easy contract to sign, man, because on the Yankees end, you have people like Stanton, they got to work in at DH, Judge is getting a little bit older, not as nimble. Maybe he's going to need a rest. You know what I mean? So they have a couple, and then you have that kid coming up that's going to play center field. Like, they have a little bit more of an issue at the DH spot. But I think if Soto might be kind of want to like, dip in and be like, the DH, I think maybe like, it might be a little more inviting for the Mets to offer him the highest contract.
Yeah, no doubt. But the Yankees say they have Plan B. Rich, there's no Plan B. They have to get Soto
No.
because just look at Soto's on base percentage alone. How many times did he get on base this year? It's just amazing what he did. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
all kidding aside with the fielding, but we know with the fielding, Judge dropped an easy fly ball in center field in the World Series. But his on base percentage, and
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. And I don't think that a Plan B is better for the Yankees than just giving Soto everything. And but what Steinbrenner said, Rich, and Steinbrenner earlier in the season said a $300 million payroll would not be sustainable with the Yankees, right?
Right.
Now he's changing his song and dance, saying the Yankees can go out and afford everybody. So is Hal Steinbrenner becoming his dad, or is Hal
Maybe.
Steinbrenner becoming the business guy?
Or maybe he's becoming the guy that feels he has somebody in the same city and the same town as him that people are comparing to his father. You know what I mean? Not comparing to him like the way he does business, but comparing, just bang, just throw money at it, bang, throw money at it. And that's what Cohen's going to do. And that's why when Met fans talk about how, like, we've never had this feeling of an owner that just has, just give it away money. You know what I mean? It's like, George Steinbrenner was like that back in the day, but and this day and age, the game has become so high priced and so is billions involved now, not millions, where, now you got a guy who's one of the richest men, in the country, and he owns a baseball team and he's a fan of it. And he's going to stop at nothing. The only reason why I think that Juan Soto wouldn't come to the Mets, I have one more team that I think that might go to besides the Mets, but you're going to get every single dollar possible. They're going to roll the red carpet after you. And you already have a guy in Francisco Lindor that already has his contract, already made his money. He's not going to be jealous of a $600 million player who he knows he's better than, it's going to be a team. And I think what Juan Soto saw, and I think what America saw, is we weren't just the loser Mets this year. We were the Mets and we fought. Like, how many games that I watched with Aiden this year that I thought that the Mets were out of it and they just score like 7 runs in the 8th inning and they would like walk it off, or somebody would steal a base in the right spot. Like, they just did so much stuff that these old guard teams that won championships used to do. They would pull wins out of nowhere. They would pitch. You grab a guy that never, to pitch, and he'd pitch. So, and I think Juan Soto saw a little bit of that in the, in the Mets, because I also think that, and this is going to sound crazy to say, and I'm not even making fun of the fact that that inning in when the Yankee in the World Series, that inning was very glaring for fans, very glaring for other players. It's like, Aaron Judge dropping the ball, you know what I mean? And then you got that, Volpe and stuff. It's like that was like a comic of errors, like, in the one of the biggest games of a lot of their lives. So I don't know. And there was a lot of camaraderie with the Mets this year, man. And Carlos Mendoza, not being a Mets fan, just looking at it, it's like I would be excited to see him go to the Mets, and being a Mets fan, I would love it. The sales of the jerseys alone would make up for a lot of the contract he's going to get.
Well, that's what I was going to talk about the marketing factor too. Juan Soto puts fans in the seats. Alex Bregman,
Yes,
great player, does not put fans in the seats. Christian Walker, first baseman with the Arizona Diamondbacks,
do
coming
me
to
a
the
favor,
Yankees. He
that's
doesn't.
that following like if you
Pete
guys would do
Alonso
me.
put fans in the seats. Rich Alonso, maybe fans
Trying to
come
get
out
to
to
a
see
thousand.
Alonso, right?
Well, that's my other thing that I'm talking about. I personally think that I'm gonna give you that the three moves that I think the Mets are gonna make, and we can talk about the other moves after. But you just brought up Alonso, and I always keep telling you what's gonna happen with Alonso. Now, if Alonso goes to let's say he goes to Chicago, or I don't think he would go to the Yankees, but I wouldn't hate on him if the Mets were just saying go find a contract. But again, I still think that Cohen's going to offer Alonso something. They're going to talk to him and they're going to say you still want to be a part of something. And I think that he's going to sign a contract with the Mets. So I think the Mets are ultimately going to get Soto, Corbin Burns, and Pete Alonso. And the reason why I think that this is going to be more of an opportunity for the Mets than the Yankees and anybody else is because if you look at the top 10 teams, how
Yep.
much money is coming off their salary this year. The Yankees are number two at 88 million, but the Mets are number one at 169 million dollars coming off the books this year, dude, with all this money. So, you can say goodbye to Pete Alonso if you really want to, because I'm positive that we could find somebody to play first base. You know what I mean? And he did play a good defensive first base, and he wants to go out and get his money. He declined an offer. He didn't decline an offer because he doesn't want to be a Met. He declined an offer because he wants to say, hey, let's see what happens. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, ultimately, I think Pete Alonso is going to be a Met. But why not? I honestly think he would fit in. Soto leaves, Alonso fits in perfect there because the fact that he was in Queens might hurt him a little bit in the Bronx, but I think the fans would start to love him, and he would hit a ton of home runs in that right field porch, dude.
Oh yeah, and that's what's so enticing to Soto too. He never really took
Yeah,
advantage of the short porch at Yankee Stadium. He was hitting
41 home
home runs
runs.
all over the place. But I think what it comes down to, Rich, does he want to play next to Aaron Judge? We saw Judge win another MVP. You can't base the MVP on the postseason, but
Yeah,
I mean, does he want to play next to Aaron Judge? Judge is like 32 now. The pitching staff's older. Garrett Cole's 34, so the Yankees' window is slowly closing. But we saw the Yankees make the World Series, and it's not like the Yankees have so many holes to fill because basically they have all their pitching intact. Their starting rotation. The Mets, on the other hand, Manaea, Quintana, and Severino, all free agents now. So the Mets have a pitching staff to build as well. So
yeah.
it all comes down to when Soto signs, then the floodgates open. But I just think it's just too long. It can go into January, like we saw last year with Blake Snell and Montgomery. They didn't sign until spring training started. And look at the disastrous seasons they had. So
It's
I
going to
think
start
you
again
got to
because
figure.
Blake Snell's a free agent again.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Rich. The Soto deal, you know what's going to have? He's going to have opt outs in that deal as well. After 3 years, he can opt out basically, and then what happens? He'll want more money after that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't. Yeah, I don't. It's again the money. We got at this point in time, like we have to take money out of the equation when we start talking about all this craziness because it is what it is. Stop complaining about the money. It's not coming out. I'm not saying you, but I'm talking about everybody. Stop complaining about the money. Let them just get. And if you really, and I know people that have done it. And if you're really mad about it, just don't watch. Don't go to the games. Don't buy your kids, jerseys. Just kind of like pull back. And that's fine if you want to pull back. I don't hate on people for that, but don't say that you're mad and then contribute. You know what I mean? Because we contribute, you know what I mean, in a very small way, but we do contribute. So, and like you and me, we are both huge sports fans. And without sports, I don't know, it's going to sound crazy, to some people think, without sports, what? No, without sports, we have an outlet to watch stuff, from a perspective. We have stuff to talk about, other than like everything else in our lives. So, sports plays a big role in our lives, and when our teams are hurting and when our teams suck, we still stick by them. So yeah, it's getting a little bit crazy. You know what I mean with the money. So take money out of the equation and know what you make, know what I make. Know we're taking care of our families, and know that listen, these guys are making a lot of money playing a kids game at the end of the day. But you know what though? They're the best in the world at it. So, and that's what they chose to do.
Yeah, no doubt. And the Yankees had some close calls in the past with the free agents, with Bernie Williams being on the plane to Boston in
Yeah.
1999, A-Rod opting out in 2007 in the fourth inning of the World Series of Game 4, whatever. And then Jeter almost left the Yankees in 2010 after that season. They had the tumultuous negotiations, him and Steinbrenner. And then, of
Well, if
course,
you watch
Aaron
that, if you
Judge.
watch that, if you watch that documentary, that Captain documentary, him and Cashman had it out, man.
Yeah, yeah,
About his contract, like,
yep.
and he was right, man. He was 100% right. Now, I don't everybody they say he was greedy for that, but he's 100% right in that argument that he had with Cashman because Cashman promised him something.
Yeah, oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Broken promises, broken dreams, but Jeter stayed. And then, of course,
Yeah.
Aaron Judge in 2022 bet on himself. He was offered the big money in spring training, bet on himself, and was close to leaving for the Giants. And we know what happened there. So the
Tomorrow,
Yankees
wait,
lost.
real quick question. Tomorrow, gun to your head. You have to pick one person to start a team with, knowing what you know now. But you got to take one person on the Yankees. You can't take two. Judge or Jeter. Who do you take, knowing what you know about both of these players now? Who do you take to start your baseball team?
Definitely Jeter, because Jeter,
Yes,
the
absolutely.
longevity. I mean, you can't.
All
It's
right,
hard to
that's it.
compare the two. They're two different types of players.
No,
But it seems
it's
like,
just a yes and it's a yes or no answer because
yeah.
it can never be judged if you're starting a team. I just have a problem with the way
well,
he is in the
well,
playoffs.
and don't get me wrong, Judge is one of the best players in the major leagues over the past
But
5 years when he
he
stays
has not
healthy.
come up. Admit it, dude. He has not come up big in the playoffs. He's small. He's 6'8", but he's 4'2" in the playoffs, dude.
Right, but we've talked about guys in the playoffs
Right,
that
right.
do
Understood.
shitty during the regular season. Guys come
Understood.
alive in the playoffs. So, hopefully
Kiki
those next
Hernandez.
two games, he had 333 in the last two games, dropped the fly ball, of course, but hopefully that leads into next year when they make the playoffs again, if they make the playoffs again. But, the Yankees did lose Robinson Cano. That was a big loss. I mean, I don't really know if the Yankees thought it was a big loss, though, because I don't think the Yankees really wanted him. I don't think they liked his attitude. I mean, he goes to Seattle, didn't really have a good he had that one year where he hit like almost 40 home runs in Seattle, but he wasn't like the star that he was with
Right,
the Yankees a couple of years before
right,
hitting free agency. And then, Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit left. They came back to the Yankees after going to Houston. Goose Gossage never wanted to play with the Yankees after when he came. Well, I should say never, but he didn't want to be under Steinbrenner's pressure. So he went to San Diego in
right.
'84. Reggie Jackson went to California. He wanted to play in California. The Yankees had Dave Winfield. So, there were some guys, Jimmy Key, John Wetland. I mean, Jeff Nelson, those guys left. But it seems like the Yankees, when there's a big name on the table, they never lost their guy. So it's gonna be interesting because Uncle Stevie's in town now. Baseball didn't have Uncle Stevie back then when
No.
when Steinbrenner ruled New York with his money, basically. But it'll be interesting to hear the story. Say like if Soto does sign with the Yankees, and then the Mets come out, Uncle Steve. Well, we did offer him 50 million more, but he decided to stay with the Yankees and stuff. So there's always the Yankee aura out there, having your number in Monument Park and stuff. But if Soto doesn't sign with the Yankees, you can't blame Soto. You got to blame Steinbrenner because it's the owner's responsibility to put the team together. It's not the players where they go. It's the players' agents where they want to go. But, it's not Soto's fault. And you know what? If Juan Soto goes to Washington, so be it, because that's where he
I was
might
just
want to
going to
go.
say that, dude. That's the point that I was going to bring up. The only team I'm not looking forward to the negotiations with is, if I was a Met fan or a Yankee fan, is that Washington National sneak attack over there with all those young players, 50 million coming off of their payroll, and them maybe starting from absolute scratch with a 26-year-old superstar that's already got a World Series, that's always been in contention for an MVP. And he's only 26 years old. He could live out. He could go back there and be like, stupid LeBron James. Go back, and just kind of live out his life. But he'll stay. He'll stay. And you know what I mean, though. Like that's the only team that I think that might be a little sneaky. They might sneak in and kind of scoop them up. But at the end of the day, probably the almighty dollar is going to win out. When you think about it.
Yeah, Rich, don't forget though, if he were to come back to the Nationals, that would mean that trade would be the Nationals getting CJ
Right.
Abrams,
Right.
James Wood, for nobody.
Might
Soto's
might
back
might
there.
might
That's
be one
crazy.
of the best trades in the history of baseball. If you think
Exactly.
about it, if he goes back, might be one of the best trades in the history of baseball.
It's Soto for a baseball team, basically.
Pretty
Because the
much a
Padres
young
gave the
baseball team.
Nationals their baseball team, basically. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Oh,
absolutely.
and Luke Voigt. Where's Luke Voigt now? He was part of that trade.
Uh, is he part of a beer league somewhere?
But another
Beer
part of
small?
that whole connection between the Yankees that played for Mets. We'll have to go into those names. So many Yankees and Mets players played on both teams and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and then the worst free agency in Yankee history has to be Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury signed for 153 million over 7 years and never showed up basically.
Speaking about free agents, you think the Yankees might want to take a flyer on Aaron Hicks? Aaron Hicks is a free agent.
I saw that. I did see that. There were trade rumors getting Byron Buxton, and Byron Buxton's Aaron Hicks version 2.0. The guy's never healthy. Why do I want a guy that's not healthy?
You know what I think too? The Mets, and I think the Mets, and you can think I'm crazy for this, but I think the Mets should keep Winker, and I think the Mets should go back and grab Tommy Pham. The only reason why I'm saying this is because you keep Winker and Pham, you got attitude still on that team. You got people that are willing to run into a wall for Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor and Juan Soto. You offer those two guys a contract and just say plug in when you can, guys, and I'm going to give you this amount of money and just be there if you get into a fight. Why not, man? Tommy Pham's a beast, bro. I mean, like I said, he could go through. He's not an everyday player, but him and Winker, man, like sign those two guys. Add a little
You mean
toughness.
trade deadline Tommy? Because what Tommy Pham does, he signs with like the Royals or Pirates, and then at the trade deadline he gets traded to a playoff team, and he's pretty good in October
And he
too. Look at his
produces, but
stats, Tommy Pham.
he
Great in
produces.
October. Yeah,
He
yeah,
produces,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's not like he's
yeah,
he
not this
doesn't
year
do
with the
anything.
Royals, but he did get on a couple of times with the Royals. They
Yeah,
made the playoffs, so wherever he goes
yeah,
in August, usually it's to a playoff team, and yeah,
yeah.
trade deadline Tommy, they call him. Yep, exactly. But yeah, and Harrison Bader too. I mean, Bader might come back to the Yankees. You don't know, right? He's a good spark
You
plug
could
to have.
have Bader. I don't know. You could have him. I don't even want to go into him. He's not even worth the conversation because he
And
just
then Jason
he,
Dominguez, where's Jason Dominguez going? There's so many question marks,
yeah.
Rich. And we're at November 23rd today. We have about 17 weeks till the season starts,
Yep.
about 12 weeks till spring training. So a lot of stuff going to happen within the next couple of weeks, I think. But it's going to be interesting, this whole Juan Soto soap opera, the way it plays out and stuff like that. And where will Juan Soto play in 3 years? That's a quick question, too, with his opt out. Right? He'll probably have opt outs after every year.
Uh, yeah, I know. You know what is that's unfortunate, I guess, too. Like, you want to sign a 13-year contract, but you want a 3-year opt out. How about you sign a 5-year deal and we'll see what happens? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
I want to talk about Otani's got that big deal, but
yeah.
if you look at Otani's 2024 stats compared to Aaron Judge 24, Aaron Judge had better stats than Otani this year. It's crazy. If you look at the numbers are right there, but you know what? Otani had the historical year, 55, and that's what led him to the MVP award unanimously.
Yeah. My wife
So
just
yeah,
came in and yelled at
so
me.
he's out there, and then Judge
My
wins
wife
the
came in and yelled
award
at me.
unanimously. So you had two MVPs winning the award unanimously this year. So pretty good. Uh, you know, I mean, the MVP covers
Yeah.
April through September. Rich, you can't really. It
Sorry,
doesn't go through October, right? So
I got a little distracted. The boss just came in and opened up the door. I was supposed to put her towels in the dryer before, and she just yelled at me. She just yelled at me in
well,
front of everybody.
this is a
It's
live
not always like
podcast,
that.
so live stuff happens on the
Not
podcast.
always like that, guys. But I did tell her I was going to do it, so I am at fault. I am wrong. So now she's mad at me, but not really mad.
Do we
I
need have
mean,
to take do we have to take a commercial
we've been
break,
really
Rich?
good lately, me and the wife.
Do
So
we need advertisers? We can take a commercial break and you can do the towels. That's what anybody want to
yeah,
advertise on
exactly.
our show. We're up for we'll definitely plug your thing and stuff like that. So
I'd listen. I'd love to get some advertisement. Anybody if they want to advertise with us, that'd be fantastic. We got a lot of pizzerias in the area. We got burger
we got
joints.
a
We got
place that
bars.
serves me
Anybody want
good
to
coffee
advertise? We got
too.
Dunkin' Donuts. He's been drinking Dunkin' Donuts for like the last 10 years I know him. So yeah, take some advertisers if you want. Got to start making some money on this. We did this. We started this back in 22, right? So we got to start making some money on this shit.
Yeah, maybe we
Maybe
can
I'll
have.
start making us some money because you know what? Though what I am going to do is I am going to send a video into the Renegades.
How's that? Yeah, what about that? What's that? What did you speak to them or no?
Well, yeah, I sent them an email and I want to know if you needed a college degree in any of this stuff to do that job. And she emailed back, said no, said just send in a video. So I had to do something today, but Josh was going to help me do the video, and I never got back to him. He's probably mad at me, but I'm sorry, Josh. But I thought I had something going on. But yeah, he's going to help me with the video, and I'm going to send the video and see what happens. So, you
Oh,
know what I'm
nice. There
saying?
you go. Very good. Yeah, yeah.
All
You'll
right.
have to take the Mets hat off.
Any other baseball news you want to get to?
No, I was just gonna say you'll have to take the Mets hat off.
What's
If
that?
you can't wear a Mets hat at the at doing a Renegades game, you know that, right?
I think that might be my shtick. I'll just go in there at the Renegades, just be the Renegade Mets fan. So I don't know. I'll call myself the Renegade Mets fan. What do you think about that?
Too
Works,
funny.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's it with baseball. Like I said, Juan Soto, we'll figure out where he goes to and stuff.
Wait. Can I
But
ask you one more before we leave baseball for a second? Can I want to ask you something. Okay. Now, is Luis Gil really the rookie of the year?
Luis Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he
Think
rookie of
so?
the year? Should he be rookie of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I'm not
I have
asking you.
no.
Listen, I'm not asking anybody should have, could have, would have. I'm not saying anything against him, but I don't know. I just think that he was kind of he was kind of babied at the end there. I lost you, E.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. Your video went out.
Video. I didn't do
What are you
anything.
doing? Something?
Oh,
Are you
hold
doing something?
on.
Are
Looks
you doing
like your
something on your
camera
phone,
was
bro?
unplugged. Plug it. You hear me, Rich? You hear me?
I hear you perfectly. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I got it. It says look like your camera has been unplugged, but I'm using the camera on the computer. Hold on one sec. Let's
All
see.
right.
Let's see.
You might
Hold
want
on.
to.
Oh, there
There
we
you
go.
go.
Oh,
You're
back?
using your phone. You have an old iPhone.
No, I use my computer.
Oh, all right. All
I got
right.
it
Cool.
all. Yeah. I might have
Where were
clicked on
we?
something.
Yeah. Well, that's
Louis.
I just wanted to ask you. We don't have to elaborate because I just feel that they kind of babied him towards the end of the year. There. I guess he got hurt, right? And then I don't know. Two pitchers
Well,
got
he was
rookie of
coming
the
off.
year this year.
He was
So
coming off. Yeah, he was coming off the surgery. He had surgery. He didn't pitch last year and was hurt. So I think they want to baby his innings like they do with a lot of pitchers now.
Mark.
Nobody pitches over
Well,
200 innings and we're rich.
yeah. Well, we got Paul Skeens here, one in the National League. I was to say Vientos had a decent season here, but I don't think he was eligible for rookie of the year this year. But I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just
No.
asking. Just
Yep.
asking.
Yep.
So. All right. So yeah, all right, let's put baseball to bed for now. I'm gonna put baseball to bed for now until Juan Soto decides he can tell us where he's gonna sign for an enormous amount of money. So Juan Soto, don't hold us up too long and see what happens. Maybe we'll hear something today.
Yeah. No, not
We got
today.
some crazy stuff going on in football.
Ah, jeez.
Crazy stuff going on in football. Okay. I mean, we could go anywhere. Joe Douglas was fired. We got Rex Ryan chanting, off the rafters saying he wants the Jets job. I mean, last week, I mean, did you watch any of that Buffalo Bills Chiefs game? Is Josh Allen the toughest quarterback in the NFL, dude? That guy is amazing to me. He's, and you always think of Josh Allen as his quarterback in the NFL that he takes a lot of chances. He throws a lot of interceptions. Not this year, dude. His interceptions are way down this year. And he's still throwing for an enormous amount of yards, and
And
he's running.
he doesn't really have a number one receiver, Rich. I mean,
No, and
he had Diggs, but Diggs is gone. I mean, who's he throwing to? A bunch of
look,
guys, right?
and you got you got the Baltimore Ravens, you got Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson just straight up a running back when he runs the ball, but Josh Allen is like a fullback, dude. Like he's like that fullback, like that, that people just key on. Like he's a big, strong, tough kid, and he's not afraid to get hit. He's one of the best stars quarterbacks in the NFL, and he is not afraid to take a hit, man. He goes head up with these linebackers, these safeties, and he's a tough dude, man. And that they might win the Super Bowl this year. I think maybe possibly this might be their year, I think. And I think the Chiefs are gonna be in for a big surprise, I think, with Buffalo and the Ravens, I think. So I don't think the Chiefs are gonna be top dogs this year. You got two teams that are playing really well, and I think they're ready to take the Chiefs out.
Yeah, no doubt. Kansas City, they've been winning ugly this year. Don't forget the Broncos game the week before, they won on the blocked field goal. The Denver was setting up for a game-winning field goal. So very
Yeah.
easily the Chiefs could have been, losing two games in a row. But Buffalo really showed me a lot last Sunday coming out like that. And it's good to see that Patty Mahomes take a loss and Travis Kelsey
Yeah.
crying. Maybe because Taylor Swift wasn't at the game. Maybe the luck ran out, because she wasn't
Yeah.
at the game.
Now, but before we we go into our games, we'll talk about our prospective teams and everything, and something I want to bring up to you that happens to pertain to my team, the Jets. But it's not, it's not. I want to ask you a question about you as a football fan. I'm going to give my input as a football fan as well. So I also, I mean, a couple of days ago, I'm so tired of the bull with the Jets, and I'm so tired of them just like disappointing. It's a different disappointment with the Mets because the Mets have had highs and lows. The Jets they just can't get out of their own way. Like I explained to you before, I was like, the Giants are going to be back to relevancy because they're the Giants. The Jets are just going to continue to be the Jets. So they need a coach. They got to fire everybody. It's just got to really be a start from scratch type of deal. Now, I'm going to tell you what I think about what the Jets should do. Like, if you're looking from an NFL, like a fan perspective, like what can be done with the Jets right now that could either, just save their franchise. It's not even about saving a season anymore. It's about saving the next 10 seasons. You know what I mean? So, from an NFL, perspective, like what do you think the Jets have to do first and foremost right now to give them back to some kind of relevance?
Well, as many times as the Jets had a clean house, their house must be pristine by now. I mean, no germs in that house. Every year we
Yeah,
hear the Jets have to clean house, start
embarrassing.
over. But look at Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas only won 30 games as the general manager, and that reflects on him, Rich. I mean, in the COVID season, they went 2-14. The year after that, they were 4-13. Of course, this year's no playoff appearances. I mean, how easy is it to make the playoffs in the NFL, Rich? 7 teams make it from each conference. That's like half the teams, and the Jets haven't done that in what 14 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
all
if you look
sports for
at,
that matter, it's so easy to make the playoffs. Even
I know, look
baseball
at that.
now, anybody can make the playoffs.
Look at your division down there: Atlanta, Tampa Bay, the Saints, and Carolina. It's 6-5, 4-6, 4-7, 3-7. It's like,
Look at Tampa Bay
they're
won the division with a 7-9 record a couple of years. They
un-
were under 500. Rich, they won the division.
unbelievable. Now, when you look at the coaching, like if you look from a coaching perspective for the Jets, now if the Jets are going to go out, obviously they're going to get a new coach. They're not going to have. I think they're going to fire everybody. Like, where does their search begin? Like, what do they do? Do they get a new up and coming guy? Do they get an older guy that's like, no nonsense dude? Like, Rex Ryan, hear him screaming off the rafters that he wants the job. Like they need somebody to come in there, and they need somebody to let these guys know that they're young men playing football, and there is a boss. There is somebody that tells you what's going on. They're going to somebody that tells you, what plays to run, and somebody that's in charge. Because right now, the New York Jets have nobody in charge. Aaron Rodgers is in charge right now, and they're even talking about how in the beginning of the season, they want that. I think Salah wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers. So, and that shows kind of like infighting in the Jets organization. And that's what it's been for the Jets. It's just been a comic of errors with the Jets for the last since 1969. After that idiot Namath said, I guarantee we're going to win. Devil came, took his soul, and now he's waiting to die so we could give it back. And the Jets could go to relevance. But I just don't think that. All right, I'm going to tell you what I think. I think, if you want to really, I'm going to tell you what they're probably going to do, and I'm going to tell you what I think they should do. I think that right now, I think Rex Ryan is probably a good choice because Rex Ryan wants the job. I think he's probably got a little bit of his dad in him now. He's, 20 years older, and I'm not 20 years, well, whatever, 15 years older. And he's got a little bit of his dad in him. He's going to want that defense to run. But with Rex comes a lot of old baggage and a lot of stuff like that. But I think right now, he's probably in the proper mindset to come back and coach a team because he's probably sick and tired of he's probably sick and tired of just going over plays and going over teams and what they think they should do. Because right now, when you see him on TV, all he's saying is, I want the Jets job. So I'd be happy to welcome Rex Ryan back. I'm happy to welcome him back with open arms because I think he would bring a disciplined coach.
Yeah, let me interrupt for a second, Rich. I
Sure,
think
right?
it's a great idea bringing Rex Ryan back. Rex Ryan coached the NFL for 8 years. I'm tired
Mm-hmm.
of these teams going out and bringing coordinators. They go out to
Right.
get defensive coordinators and no coaching experience. Those guys have specialties. They're not coaches. What the Jets need to do is the Jets need to go out. The Jets should have got Harbaugh last year. Maybe fired Salah if they just go after Harbaugh before he goes to the Chargers. Or but I think his mindset was going on to LA anyhow. But the Jets need to get a coach that has coaching experience, head coaching experience. Enough with
Yeah.
these coordinators. I mean,
Yeah.
Salah was right, right,
Yeah,
crazy.
no, terrible. Like I said, everybody's they prematurely fired him. Whatever. The Jets had to do something, and they just, like I said, they can't get out of their own way, and they're not doing anything really just to you know to make a splash, even just to make something. You know what I mean? Because you know what, like I just said to you, what I think they're going to do is they're probably going to hire Rex Ryan or maybe like somebody with experience, but I'm going to give you an out of the box moment for the New York Jets right now. Thinking out of the box moment for the organization. Now, you get rid of everybody, right? Everybody's gone, right? The whole coaching staff's gone. I think they should fire the water boy. I think everybody should go. But why not bring in Deion Sanders? And listen, Deion Sanders could pull an Archie Manning and tell everybody where he wants his kid to play. Now, I don't know how much you've been watching Colorado, but Shador Sanders is lighting it up. The kid's a really good quarterback, dude. At the end of his fourth year as a senior, he's going to throw for almost 7,000 yards, dude. I mean, and he's got a good arm. He's got a strong arm. And I think he's got attitude. And whether you like the kid or not, attitude just really means that you're ready to play with the big boys. You know what I mean? Maybe not physically. I don't know. I'm not saying the physical attributes, but I think the mindset might be there. Your dad played at a high level. Why not bring in Deion Sanders, hire whoever the hell you want, hire Warren Sapp, bring Sterling Sharp out of his stupid podcast and make him be a coach. Bring your boys in. I don't care who you bring in, but They need a complete and total revamp of everything. And now, what better to do something like that? Now, Deion's young, right? Deion loves his players, but Deion Sanders is way too much of an egomaniac to allow somebody like Aaron Rodgers to step up to him and say, no, maybe we should do this. He's way too much of an egomaniac to let that happen. So I think he's got the right mindset to go in there and coach a football team and have these kids and have these men buy into what he's trying to say. Now, he's going to get a chance in the NFL. He is. He's going to. Whether it be Dallas, when McCarthy's gone, I don't know who it's going to be. But why not make it so Shedeur Sanders gets drafted by the New York Jets? You bring Deion Sanders in, and you do it early, too. So you make sure you have that draft pick. And then you start from complete scratch. You bring some attitude, you bring some swagger, and you bring some luster to the New York Jets. And you know what, though? While you're at it, okay, Woody, when you go and work for the Trump organization, hand it to the little brother Chris, who doesn't know his ass from his elbow. Why don't you just say, you know what? Let's just be dignitaries and let's sell the football team to Steve Cohan. I'm not even joking. Sell the team to Steve Cohan, build a damn stadium, whether it takes 10 years, 15 years, bring it back to relevance. It is what it is. But bring them back to relevance. You know what I'm saying? And let them have new blood. Hold on a second. I gotta do something here. And I gotta make sure that I'm still on. Yeah. Whatever. All right. So that's, like I said, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, like, do something. Do something to shake it up a little bit. I'm sorry, they said I wasn't doing anything, so I had to move puzzle piece, and you know how those robot things are on the
Yeah.
computer.
So I just want to.
What do you think of that, Eric? Like, what do you think of that? I know it's went on a tangent, but what do you think of that?
Yeah. I think. I think if you bring Deion Sanders and you get the same old circus, Rich. I mean, you want
A
some
different
stability.
circus, though, that we don't know about yet.
You don't know about yet, but you know what though? We could be speaking in 2 more years, Rich, and you go, "Oh, the Jets have to clean house again." I don't know. This it seems like the franchise is cursed, Rich. They can
It
never get it
is.
right. Never,
It
never.
is
And
absolutely cursed.
Uncle Stevie coming in is different. I mean, he built a stadium, brings back the Queens, but don't forget, in the NFL, you have the salary cap, so he's not going to be able to go out there and spend the money like crazy, get guys left and right. They got the salary cap, but I think the team does need an identity, Rich. And I think the team playing in New Jersey kind of lost that identity because the Jets were based in Queens. The Jets fan
Right.
base was Queens and Long Island. People from Long Island did not want to drive to New Jersey. And the
No.
Jets lost some fan base there.
Nope.
People from New Jersey were buying the season tickets, but they're not really Jets fans. They were Giants fans, maybe Eagles fans. The thing is, they need their identity back. You can't share a stadium. And the same thing goes for the
No.
Chargers out in LA. The Chargers and Rams are sharing a stadium. You need your identity as a team. The Jets were the franchise in the 60s. The Jets played in Shea Stadium. Fans came to Shea Stadium in those swirling winds. Uncle
Yep.
Stevie needs to buy the team and put a Jets stadium in that parking lot and maybe put a dome on top of it.
Absolutely. Eric, I'm all for that, man, because that would, like you said, that would charge up the fan base again. Because right now, the Jets fan base has nothing to look forward to. Like right now, we have an aging Rodgers who they're saying wants to play another year. I don't know what that means, but Woody, if he still owns the team, is going to say, you can't do that to Aaron Rodgers. He's going to come back. Well, listen, I love Aaron Rodgers to death, but he's having a very pedestrian year. He's coming to the end. He's not going to go to some other team and win a Super Bowl. It's not. So I don't know what's going to happen with him, but they have to do something to shake it up. You have a young running back, two young running backs. You have a young wide receiver who can't be happy. And right now, I'll tell you right now, some team's going to bite. You get rid of Sauce Gardner right now. Right now, you get rid of him. There's nobody coming in that's going to teach that kid how to be a football player. You could teach somebody how to run. You can't. That's talent. You teach somebody how to run. Can't teach somebody the physical aspects, but you have to teach somebody how to play football. And that kid does not know how to play football.
And Rich, I was going to talk about Sauce Gardner because when he first came up, the Jets fans were really excited about Sauce Gardner wearing number 1 on his jersey. The big guy coming in. Sauce Gardner hasn't lived up to what his talents should
No.
be. And not only that, he's commenting on people on Instagram that are criticizing him and stuff. As a professional athlete, you got to take the heat basically. And if you can't take the fire in New York, you got to play elsewhere. But getting back to what you said about the Jets fan base, I mean, look at the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. look at this. The Steelers have fans in every state basically, and they travel like
Yeah.
that. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
even with the Buccaneers, Rich, there's parties tonight. The Buccaneers play in MetLife tomorrow. I'm getting
Right.
invites to these parties in the city tonight. I'm not going to go. I want to take,
Right.
go out to dinner with my son and my wife, but I'm getting invitations to these parties. And even in the parking lot tomorrow, there's parties going on. The place is going to be filled with red tomorrow with Buccaneers fans at MetLife. I mean, who would think
Yeah.
a team like that, you know? But we're talking about the Jets. Seriously though, the team needs an identity. You
They
can't be the
do.
New York Jets playing in the exit 16W off the New Jersey Turnpike. The New
No.
York Jets are Queens. And you know what? Until they realize that after what, 30, 40 years, the team's going to suck till eternity, Rich.
Yeah, and plus MetLife Stadium's a dump anyway. MetLife Stadium's terrible. The turf is everybody gets hurt there. They're getting turf toe left and right. They say like the ground's as hard as concrete. It's like, you know what? Let the Giants have that because again, let the Giants back to their own. They're going to be back, but the Jets have to do something to shake it up, man. They got to do something for us as that fan base. I don't care
What
what it
about
is.
Belichick? Would you bring like a 75-year-old Belichick
Yes,
in to
yes,
coach that
absolutely,
team?
yes. Anything different, anything to think out of the box. Anybody that's going to come in here and not make a mockery out of it, like what Urban Meyer did to Jacksonville. Everybody thinks, oh, Urban Meyer is coming to Jacksonville. He made a complete mockery out of that transaction.
Well,
So
that's what I fear with Deion Sanders coming, Urban Meyer coming to Jacksonville, same type of thing.
I don't
You
think
know,
so because I don't think so because Dion doesn't have the resume as Urban Meyer when it comes to a college coach.
that's
And
true. That's
Deion
true.
Sanders played in the league for a very long time. So he knows how people get exposed very quickly. So if he comes in there, he knows that people are going to want to see him be a coach, not be a friend. So I think he can take the spotlight out of any of these young people he may not even want the job, but he's going to want to do something with his son and where his son goes maybe Dallas. I don't know, but why not the Jets, man? I would, and let's just start over. I mean, I know it sounds crazy to say nobody, but when you have nothing, you're always starting over. So it's like we have nothing. So let's keep starting over. So it's not anything we have, I guess, stuff to build on, but we need, we thought Aaron Rodgers was going to be that guy that brings us to the promised land and gets all these young kids involved and tells all these young guys they could win, but no, nothing. He was just there. You know what I mean? And that's fine, but you should have let us know from the beginning that you were just going to be there and not be the quarterback leader that we thought you were going to be.
Well, he was taking the trip to Egypt when the training camp started and stuff. He was in
I was
Egypt,
even all right
but
with all that shit.
we could definitely agree, Rich, that the Tom Brady signing in Tampa Bay is a lot different than the Aaron Rodgers signing in with the Jets.
100%.
Basically, I mean
100%.
Brady's body at 40 years old was much better than Rodgers' body is. I mean, Rodgers looks like, and the next year too. Rich, is he playing for the Jets next year, or the Jets going to bring in another quarterback next year? I mean, Sam Darnold's out there. Can you imagine Sam Darnold coming back? How about Daniel Jones coming to the
No,
Jets?
no, 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 no. Daniel, no. Daniel Jones experiment is done. He should just go be a lawyer. You know what I mean? I don't know what degree he's got from Duke. Apparently he's a very smart guy. And you know what? That's another thing too. Let's go on the opposite end side of the money thing too. How we say, the money's there, they're gonna get it. But let's not get this confused. Like, Daniel Jones was up there and he's like, he feels bad, like he's almost in tears, like you're saying goodbye to the organization. You made $80 million playing football, okay? Not playing football well, playing football terribly, actually. You made $80 million. Just you're not a football player. You're not an NFL football player. You're not. Just suck it up. And like I said, whatever your degree was at Duke, I don't know if you're a doctor or whatever, whatever it was, but just go do that. Or just sit back and go coach football. I'm sure you'd be a wonderful youth football coach. Wonderful. Nice guy, tall, handsome dude, the football moms would love him. I think that's what Daniel Jones needs to do because I know he's young and his life is starting and stuff like that. It hasn't even started yet, really, his life, because he tried football. And you know what, Daniel? It just didn't work, dude. Just right off into the sunset. If you get an offer to play for a team like somebody looking for a quarterback, it's going to be the same thing. He's not a football player. Tim Tebow, amazing athlete, was not an NFL football player, was not an NFL quarterback. It just happens, man. When you get that jump and you're in that spotlight your entire life, and then you're looked at as somebody that's really not that good anymore, it's got to hurt a little bit, but Daniel Jones had to see this coming.
Yeah, and the fallback is Rich. He had to see it coming, but it could be the system, it could be the coaching, and you know what? there's about 19 teams out there, and their backup quarterbacks would definitely lose a job to Daniel Jones right now. So I think Daniel Jones signs a contract within the next couple of weeks. And you know what? It wouldn't shock me if he went to Buffalo as an insurance policy to Josh Allen. It wouldn't shock me if he goes to Baltimore as an insurance policy to Josh Johnson. And look at these teams: Carson Wentz, Kansas City; the Chargers, Easton Stick; Denver, Jarrett Stidham; Philadelphia, Kenny Pickett. Daniel Jones is a better backup quarterback. And you know what? We've seen the Eagles, their quarterback got hurt a couple of years ago, Carson Wentz, the whole Carson Wentz. We've seen quarterbacks get hurt down the road. And I think you need Daniel Jones. I mean, Atlanta, Michael Penix, he's not ready to be your starting quarterback. Even Tampa Bay, Kyle Trask, I would have Daniel Jones be a backup to Baker Mayfield. So I think he's going to get a job this year, Rich, and then we'll see what happens next year. But wouldn't it be ironic if Daniel Jones signs with the Jets next year?
Oh my God, no way. No, because then that's just going to be the beginning of the circus again.
Wouldn't
No.
it be funny if Daniel Jones signs with the Jets and what's his name signs with the Vikings guy, signs Darnold signs with the Giants? Wouldn't that be ironic next year, Rich? That'd be crazy.
Look, Sam Darnold did nothing wrong. Sam Darnold was a product of nobody could show me what to do. Now he's a product of somebody that showed me what to do. And look, hey, I am pretty good at this. Nobody showed Zach Wilson what to do. Zach Wilson's different than Sam Darnold. But there's these quarterbacks out there that when you come to the Jets, they just don't know what to do with quarterbacks. They don't.
Well, I compared it to a guy that gets a job in corporate America, heads to the office the first day, just gets a computer, and the boss says, go to work. And the guy goes, well, what do you want me to do? That's basically what the Sam Darnold thing is, right? That's my analogy on that. But that's crazy. I mean, and Tommy Cutlets isn't a quarterback, Rich. He's not a star, Tommy DeVito, right? I mean, he's going to
He's
be
a star in his own mind. He thinks he's a star, but
he's got the agent too and stuff like that. But the flip side I want to talk about heading into tomorrow's Giants Buccaneers game is Mike Evans. Now we saw Mike Evans. It looked like he got shot on the field a couple of weeks ago. The Baltimore game, it was a primetime game. He scored a touchdown and he just went down, the hamstring and stuff. He's coming back tomorrow. The guy's got 665 receiving yards this year, missed a couple of games, 7 games to go. He needs 335 yards to get to 1,000 for the season, and it will be his 11th season with 1,000 yards, plus 1,000 yards. I mean, very quietly, this guy is one of the best receivers in NFL history, Rich. He's not going to break Jerry Rice at 22,000, but he's only 5,000 behind Larry Fitzgerald for second place. I mean, America doesn't know who Mike Evans is, but I do. And Mike Evans is like one of the best receivers in NFL history, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a loyal guy too. You know what I mean? So I hear you. I listen. I think the Buccaneers are going to handle them tomorrow. I thought maybe the Giants would maybe come and show a little face in front of their fans, but I just think the Buccaneers they got to win some football games. They're 4-6 right now in second place. I mean, they have to win. They have to win tomorrow. So it's like it's a bigger game for them than it is for the Giants, because the Giants, if you listen to a lot of people out there, are they going to tank? What are they going to do? The whole tanking thing to me is a little crazy in football, but I don't know. Who knows, man? We'll see what happens. I think the Bucs going to win that game tomorrow, but we'll see.
And getting back to the Jets for a second, Rich, it's not only the coach. You got to get a GM back in there. I mean, Douglas was one of the worst GMs you had. He only won 30 games in 30 out of 120 games under his regime. So you have to get, not only you have to get the coach, Deion Sanders, like you said, but you have to get the GM in there as well to run the operations of the team, to draft those guys that I mean, right? You got to get that.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely the Jets are a complete mess. And I'm not, I'm not excited about watching any more football games. I'll just hang out and watch football tomorrow, with my son and stuff, and pay attention.
The Jets have to go out and get Devontae Adams, Rich. Well, what did that do for the franchise? Getting Devontae Adams, he's not going to be with the team next year.
Like I said, that's just another clear, example of Aaron Rodgers wanted him on the team. So I got the sun in my eyes now. So you know what I mean?
When you sit outside, you got the shade open there, Rich.
No, I got my the window in my family room in here is.
It's funny because it's pretty cloudy over here. So send some of that sunshine over here from your house, 7 miles away and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I definitely will.
It's always darker on this side of Route 9, this side of the tracks. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't know, man. What do you got? Anything else you want to discuss in the world of the NFL? We did about an hour now. I know you got somewhere to go. Anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, nothing about the NFL. It's just basketball. That tournament's going on. And it seems like the Celtics beat Cleveland the other night, which was a really big victory for the Celtics and stuff. But
Yeah. That just
but
showed me, you know what? That just showed me, like you, like me and you talk about the NBA. The NBA really doesn't start till about Christmas time, and that just showed me that the Celtics are like moving along, and the Celtics are like, wait a second, the Cavaliers are undefeated. All right, let's give it a little bit more. That's unfortunate, I think, but the Celtics are they're on all cylinders this year, dude. I don't think there's nobody that is well equipped. I don't think to be. I think they're going to repeat because they're so stacked and they have everything locked down. Their two stars are going to play well this year. I don't know. The Celtics are just, I think that's what they did the other night. They saw the Cavs undefeated. It's like, no, you're not. So they just played a little bit harder than they should have. But, I still have a problem with this in-season playing game or whatever. I just think it's ridiculous. I do.
Yeah, no doubt. And then one more thing, Rich. I want to talk about college football for a second.
Sure.
Big game tonight between Army and Notre Dame.
Oh my
Army
God, yeah.
undefeated. Yeah. So here's the deal with Army. Army joined the conference this year. It's called the American Athletic Conference.
Mhm.
And they won, well, not really won their conference yet. They made the championship game, which ironically will be played on December 6th. Now, it would have been Navy. Navy lost last week, so it's between Army and Tulane, I believe. And
Okay.
if Army wins next weekend, they get the home game in the championship game, Army in West Point on the 6th, and then they play the Army Navy game the next weekend. So the Army Navy game doesn't count in the standings. But if Navy would have beat Tulane last weekend, it would have been Army Navy playing in West Point for the championship, and then Army and Navy playing the following week in the Army Navy game. How great would that
That
have been?
running back is amazing. That running back on Army, he's amazing.
Yeah, and Army plays they play the option. Navy and Air Force went away from the option. Army plays the option, but Notre Dame's like 11 point favorites tonight. The game's on at 7 o'clock on Channel 4 in Yankee Stadium, and
Yeah.
yeah, if Army
You know
wins, they
what's
run the
crazy about
table.
Notre Dame? Like my buddy's gonna hate that I say this about them, but Notre Dame's just like they're like maybe like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember I said like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're always eking out wins or they get the big like Notre Dame is always that everybody comes in with a big head. Notre Dame, we're Notre Dame, but Notre Dame really, I mean, they have tradition, of course, obviously, and they, I'm sure they're a little more stringent on their players. So maybe they don't get, but they're always supposed to be that team. But when was the last time they won a national championship?
Yeah, exactly, quite a bit. And you said like the Steelers, their fans are all over the country, Notre Dame,
All
basically,
over,
and
all over.
even I went to an Army Notre Dame game in Yankee Stadium a couple of years ago, and they had the on the advertisements on the scoreboard from the state police of Indiana telling people don't trick or drive. So it kind of felt like you were in Indiana watching the game. But yeah, a
Although I
lot
would
of people
love
will
to
be
go to
watching
a game.
tonight.
Love to go. If you're listening out there, you know who I'm talking to. I would love to go to a Notre Dame.
Yeah, so Army's having the season, one of their best seasons ever, basically.
Yeah.
So
At
if
number
they go
six,
in there tonight,
that running
yeah,
back, what's his name?
they got the quarterback too, but yeah,
Yeah, that
I
kid,
don't know the name,
amazing.
but they're having a great season nonetheless. They're 9-0. Notre Dame's 9 and
Yeah.
1, and yeah, Yankee Stadium tonight, Channel 4, 7 o'clock. All eyes will be on that.
All right. All right. You know what? There's one thing I want to ask you about tomorrow's game that I was talking about. There's two games actually, and we don't have to go through them all. There's two games that stuck out to me yesterday as I think are going to be a little bit more lopsided than people think. What do you think of this Niners Packers game tomorrow?
Well, Brock Purdy's out,
Yep.
and Bosa's
Bosa's
out
out.
too, I think. Yep,
Bosa's out, and
yep.
so is Brock Purdy and Bosa. And I think the Packers are gonna kill them. I think there's a lot of I think the 49ers are losing a little bit of their camaraderie, I think. I mean, watching Debo almost choke that guy out a couple of weeks ago, and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't know. The Niners are really falling from their perch really fast.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And the injuries, even look at the standings, Rich. The Niners, what are they? Their record not
Seven,
that
6, I
great
think.
this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're 5-5.
yeah,
Arizona's in
five and
first
five.
place. I think Arizona's got a team you got to win. That's the other game. That's the other game I was going to point out to you. That game, and there's another the Arizona Seattle game. That's a game I really want to watch. I mean, that's going to be a great game tomorrow. Kyler Murray against Geno Smith. No one has had more passing attempts in the NFL up until this point than Geno Smith. Geno Smith's throwing for a lot of yards. Their team is fighting. I mean, they're fighting for a division there still. I mean, believe it or not, at 5-5. So Seattle still got, if they keep pushing, and Geno Smith just keeps doing what he's doing, they might be able to win that division.
Yeah, look at the other side of the ball too with Arizona. James Conner. James Conner always gets 100 yards every week, very quietly. He's always moving the ball and stuff.
And Kyler
You
Murray
know,
is fantastic.
hey, he's having a great year, Kyler Murray, nonetheless. Yeah, too. So that
Yeah,
AFC West, it's up for grabs. Even the Rams can sneak in and win that division, right?
I hear you. I hear you. All righty. What are you up to for the rest of the day?
Nothing much. I'm gonna do some stuff around the house, and then we're gonna go out to dinner later on and stuff, and back home for the Army Notre Dame game at 7. So
All right, cool, man. All right, so I'm gonna download all this stuff now. I'll put it out on YouTube and the podcast and stuff. So anybody out there listening, we have Keep Talking 365 at YouTube. We got a podcast on Spotify and Apple, TikTok. We got the real Edubs on TikTok. Yeah, he likes to have some fun with the sports and the food and everything. So yeah, guys, stop off, give us a follow, give us a like, give this YouTube channel a follow because we're looking for subscribers. It's free. I would never in a million years think to have anybody pay to watch us right now.
yeah, and Rich, just
Hit
take my
that
snip
subscribe
of my singing the Adam Sandler song. Just put that snip as a little
100%. That
on
might even
TikTok.
be our intro. That might even be our intro from now on.
There you go. Exactly.
After the holidays. All righty. Well, listen, enjoy the rest of your day. All right.
On that
And
note, I just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I put my hat back on. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, Rich.
all
And
right. Happy
yeah, and to
Thanksgiving to
everyone
you and your
watching.
family as well. What's that?
I said, and to everyone watching too, happy Thanksgiving. Yep.
Do that again and wish everybody happy Thanksgiving. I'm gonna isolate it and have a happy Thanksgiving from the Murf and Edubbs show.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Okay, just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me get the full effect here. Let me move back a little bit.
All right.
Okay,
Edubbs is
there we
about to
go. You
wish
see
everybody
it?
a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, here we
Yep.
go.
Go
Ready?
ahead, E. Let it rip.
Okay, hold on. Let me get in position here. Oh, hold on. I gotta move the camera back a little bit more.
This video is gonna
There
be
we go.
fantastic.
Ready?
Go ahead, E.
Hold on, it's blurry. Okay, there we go. Okay, happy Thanksgiving from the Murf and Edubbs Sports Show. One more time. Just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving from the Murf and Edubbs Sports Show. Enjoy, everybody.
Perfect. Edubbs, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and we will definitely talk soon. And tell Big Ben I said hello.
Okay, Murf. Yep. Thank you. Regards to your family as well, and I'll speak soon.
All righty. I'll talk to you later,
Take
buddy.
care. Bye-bye.
Later. All right. We got to end that live.